What's going on, guys? It is Fender here, and today we are back with more of our cluster series. Before we get to what we're doing in this video, please make sure to leave a like down below. It really does help me out, guys. It truly does. And if you're new to the series, subscribe. That way you can stay up to date with all the new Ark stuff as it happens. We got a lot of stuff in the works here. Not just the cluster series. We actually have a project video coming out pretty soon for you guys. It's going to be pretty cool. It's kind of unique. Kind of a unique little dealio over there. But today is finally the day. We are moving. I have finally picked out a base location, and we are going to get this sucker set up today. So before I show you which one I have landed on, you probably already know because of the thumbnail or, something like that. Let me show you a little bit of what I've done. So because we're kind of on a time crunch here, I went back over to our Lost Island map and made a whole bunch of stuff for us. That way, we can get this base set up a little more quick and not, have to waste a whole lot more time grinding out mats just so we can build walls and things. So let me show you exactly what we're cooking with here. Inside a humble over here, we have just kind of the necessities, the bare necessities of a base. I didn't make ourselves an industrial furnace or an industrial cooker, a chemistry bench. I didn't do any of the crazy things, so we'll still have to do that at some point. But this is more than enough to get a base set up and ready and going off the ground. I also, over at the base location, already have a good bit of walls and foundations and things already made. So yeah, we should be 100% ready to go, and we shouldn't have any waiting involved at all. So all we have to do now is pick up our new guys and move out. So let's grab Windu. Also, this Dodicarus right here still doesn't have a name, you guys. We need to name him. This poor guy, he has no name. What do we? I don't even know what to name you. He's got like dark blue feet and face. I don't know. So please, if you have an idea of what to name that thing, please let me know. Because otherwise, he's going to be rolling around literally without a name. So yeah, with all that being said, we are now, or at least, oh God, I just took a big old swig of our canteen. I'm going to head over to the base location and then I'll show you guys and kind of tell you guys, my mindset when we get there. Alrighty, guys, so we're here at the location, and you can probably already tell where we're at, but let me give you guys a rundown, at least of where my head's at and why I picked this place. So, before I did YouTube, I'd already made a couple bases on Valguero, and never before had I made one in the White Cliffs biome, and just sitting there thinking to myself, I had to. It's so gorgeous over here. There's so many good resources in and about the area, and after doing even more research, I found out that this spot right here is actually fairly close to every resource we need. The only one that might be a little tricky is oil, but I'm not too worried about that. I think we'll be able to be okay, because I've got a little bit of a workaround for that. So, yeah, without further ado, I think you guys all know, but I had to pick the waterfalls. I had to pick the waterfalls and the little island in the middle. I just had to. It's too gorgeous and too great of a spot to not use, so yeah, that's officially where we're going to build our base, guys. I fell in love with the idea, and I had to have it. So, it's not the most convenient in terms of resources, but it's not the worst either. And in getting preparation ready, I've got all of this stuff ready, plus all the stuff on Humble. So, we should be able to get ready and kind of rock this thing out pretty quickly here. So, also, if you're new to me, you know that building is kind of something that I struggle with. And it's not that I struggle with building per se, it's just that I go through and do a lot of trial and error, so doing a building montage has never really been my thing. So usually what I do is I just kind of build and then give you guys updates as I go, as I kind of find things that I like. So that's probably what we're gonna do here. The one exception with this build is usually I go into builds already knowing kind of vaguely in my mind how I want things to look. I have no idea what I want to build on this thing. I have no clue. So yeah, a little bit, a little bit of a, maybe a follow through there that we might have to figure out later, but it's gonna be okay. But the first thing I like to do with builds is I want to clear out the entire area so I can get a very good look at what we're working with, and then I'll figure out kind of from there what's going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and start doing that. Grab all our guys out and oh, let's make sure we get Humble land, please. I'm gonna get everybody out and just clear off the island. God, come on. Come on, guys, we just got here. Yeah, so I'm gonna get all the guys ready to go. I'm gonna clear out the island, and then I'll give you guys an update after which, so you guys can see exactly what it looks like here. I think even this big rock right here might be harvestable, which is great news. And then Fyordyr, let's get Fyordyr out as well. Oh, nice, it was harvestable. That's perfect news. All right, so it should take. Oh, It shouldn't take me very long to clear out this whole area. I think we probably will knock it out really quickly here. So, yeah. BRBs in a second, guys. Alrighty, guys. So, step 1 of the build is done. We've gone ahead and cleared out the entire area here. And already noticed a couple things here. First of all, not one. Well, it doesn't matter. One, it's not as flat as I had once thought and hoped. It's kind of got a whole bunch of different stages and kind of little rocky outcroppings all over it, which is fine, but that tells me that whatever base we build here is going to have to be somewhat on stilts and kind of somewhat raised off the ground, which is fine. That kind of gives me an idea of what we're going to build here a little bit. So I'm kind of working on it in my head right now. It's still not quite sure how it's going to turn out. Secondly, I have definitely confirmed now that I've been here for a little bit that the only way out of this place, at least on foot, is right here. It's the only path out, and then there's a path that goes down and around. Or I guess you could take that waterfall off and maybe die, but yeah, and then of course the only way in is you have to fall off and then, you know, you're stuck. But the good news is the way out is right there, and the only way up onto our island is this ramp right here, which is perfect because that means regardless of anything falling off the cliffs, we will be protected. That's great news. The only place I think we're going to have to be kind of, you know, careful is right here. I think something could run right off of this and land on our island. So we're going to have to do a little bit of, like, defenses and barricades up here, but that's fine. And there is just so much metal over here. It's wild. It's so wild. I think it's going to be such a good spot, you guys. I think it's going to be, I think it's a great idea. I really do. So, next step is to actually get into building of this area, and like I said, I'm still not 100% convinced on how I want to build this thing, so to spare you guys the pain of me fumbling and doing a bunch of trial and error, I think I'm going to just start building, and then once I find somewhat of a configuration I like, I'll bring you guys back, we'll do an update, and then we'll go from there. So I think that's the only next logical step I've got doing this thing. Like a humble sitting on that rock that's no longer there. But yeah, so that's the next step. I will bring you guys back. Oh god, it's dark. There we go. Still dark. I will bring you guys back when I've got a little bit more worked out here. Okay, you guys, so I have a little bit of an update for you right now, and it's kind of coming along pretty great. I'm really happy with what's kind of happening, and I'm starting to form a little bit of a plan in my brain of kind of how I want this place to look. But just remember, we're in the early stages of what's going on. So let me show you so far what I have done. It's not a lot, but I've been kind of like, you know, trial and error placing things. And I think it just looks like 2 squares right now, but I think this is kind of a layout-ish that I'm looking for. I think it's going to be really good. So for now, I'm kind of thinking we're going to have like a tiered, like a tier 1 and then like a tier 2 type base, like levels. I think that's just going to be the best way to do it. And then I went ahead and fenced off the little ramp up to our island. I just had to. I had to have the peace of mind so I could come over here and be working without worrying about something coming up and eating us. So for the time being, we have a dino gate there. We might replace that with a behemoth gate at some point. But for now, it serves our purposes just fine. And then while sitting over here thinking about it, I was getting kind of worried because there are quite a few aloes up top there. I was getting worried. So I was noticing that even if we have an aloe that comes down over here, it can probably get up on this side. So I had to wrap the wall all the way around this side here and we might have to make it a little bit taller here, maybe add another wall on that side. So something to keep an eye out for. But yeah, so at least for the time being, I feel like we're safe. We have safety precautions in check, which is great. And then secondly, I kind of did the same thing over here, but where I have all the dino stash. So I went ahead and put some fence supports down, followed by some stone railings. That way we can actually have our tames outside of the little soul traps. Because, you know, sometimes it's just too much to have all of your dinos and soul traps all the time. So at least this way I can have them out on the island and not be totally worried about them falling off and drowning. So, yeah, it's looking good. We're slowly starting to make progress on this. I've been kind of sitting over here fumbling like where I want things to be. And I think I've finally landed on something that I really like here. So, yeah, I'll bring you guys back with the next little update. I'm going to try and see if I can get this little square part done first. And then that part over there I think might be our work area, maybe? Not sure, but I don't know. So, I'm going to start working on it again, and then I'll bring you guys back when I have, you know, a little bit more of an update and kind of a firm handle on things. Alrighty, guys, so we have another update for you, and it's finally coming along. I'm getting really happy with how this is coming out. So, check it out, guys. So I've got the floor plan kind of figured out at this point, and it's looking really good. Let me get on Lucille so you guys can see it from kind of a bird's eye view. But essentially, this is kind of what we're working with here. I really like it. I really like it so much. And I think instead of like walling our like a whole base off and like a house off, we're gonna keep it really pretty open because the aesthetics of this area are just there's just too much to miss out on. So I think the idea is 3 out of the 4 walls we're adding are gonna be really pretty open. And I'm liking it a lot. I'm still not sure how I'm gonna make the roof all come together and things, but so far so good. It's definitely coming out better than I expected. Also, I went ahead and added glass over here on this back wall because I wanted to close up at least one of the walls, but I still wanted to be able to see through. So I'm kind of experimenting with the opacity right now to see like what kind of variant of the window back there is better than the others. So that is kind of where we are at right now. Also, I removed that pad that was over here on this side. I decided to get rid of the 2-tiered layered base idea. Mainly because I know that there's going to be a couple more builds we want to stick on this island, so I would like to leave this area just so we could do that, right? Mainly I'd like to build like an actual house, and at some point we need to build like a small-ish greenhouse. So yeah, we should be able to do both of those things here at some point. I wanted to leave us room for that, and I think it's going to come along pretty good. So I've already got the smithy and the S+ crafting station placed, so now we're kind of filling in the gaps here. I need to figure out how I want to do the walls, and I need to figure out how I want to put, like, position everything. I need to make sure everything is big enough so that Fyordyr can walk in and out, because obviously he's our biggest tame and probably the one that we use for farming the most. So, yeah, that is the goal for now. But I wanted to give you guys an update before I went a little too crazy, because it's finally starting to come along here. I'm really starting to get really happy with how this thing is coming out. So, yeah, wish me luck. We are almost there. We got a couple more things to go here. But I think it's really starting to evolve and come into its own. So, I'm going to keep working on it. I think I'll bring you guys back when I at least have, like, most of the shell of a base figured out. And then, maybe we'll go from there. But so far, so good. So, I have another update for you guys and a totally different layout as well. This is why I'm not showing you all of it, because building with me is always such an up and down, like, molehill just experience. So, let me show you what I've got going now, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be the final floor layout. I've got a lot more built now, but check this out, you guys. This is looking really, really good. I think it's going to be great. So, in terms of, like, just the base, this is kind of what we're cooking with. I've got, for the most part, I've got the outer shell built out, and then the inner shell kind of working out as well. Now, all we got to do is figure out how the roof works. What I did to try and combat it just being an enormous square is I added some triangle foundations on this side, so it kind of has a little bit of like a bullet type look to it, I guess. It's got kind of a point to it, a little rounded edge on the side, and I think that added a lot of depth to it, as well as the stone pillars in contrast with the wood pillars. I think it's looking pretty good. I think we've got a lot of depth in here, and it's just going to come out really good. Now I just got to really sit here and think about how I want this roof to come out, because I'm not really sure. Also, I added windows at the very last wall spot all the way around. I just figured it would look really good at night. I don't know. Still undecided about the yet. We'll have to get lights up before I can really tell, but I think it's looking really good. And then the idea to keep the base mainly open, I think, was a good one, because again, this place is just too beautiful to leave just not looking at. Off rips, I can tell that I need to replace these walls here, because obviously there's a big open crack down the middle of it. But for the most part, all the rest of them are looking really good. So this is kind of what we're working with here. I'm probably going to start placing our smithy and things in here. And then, God, the roof is the next big project on this base, because I have no idea how I want this thing to look. But it's kind of coming out really good. I think it's going to, I don't know. I'm just really stoked. I'm really stoked about how it's coming out. And, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to actually go and harvest more materials, because we are damn near blowing through everything I made, like, pre-made. So, not good, but, you know, it's coming along. We're getting there. We're getting there. So, yeah. Next step, I'm going to work on the roof. I'm going to work on trying to find where I want things to be placed. And then I'll bring you guys back, and we should almost, guys, have a base place ready to go. So, let's see how it goes. Okay, guys, so I think I have the final update on what our base is going to look like, at least going forward. And it doesn't have all the amenities right now. However, it's looking pretty good. I'm really stoked on it. I'm pretty proud of how this came out. So check this out. It's looking pretty good, man. It took me a little bit to figure out how I wanted to do the roof, because doing roof on not only a weird rectangular building, but also a round one is a little bit tricky. And unfortunately, there's not triangle thatch sloped roofs. For whatever reason, that's just gonna have to work. We may like reinvent our whole roof situation at some point, but for now, it more than does its job. It covers up the base, and it is what it is. So we might change it to wood, we might change it to stone at some point, but for now, it's thatch just because it was cheap to make. But check this out, you guys. So inside, we have pretty much stuffed it to the gills already with everything we need. We got a generator. I got some gas in it. I got some actually cables strung up. You can't see them. Let's see. I'll do it right now. Let's see. Show wires. There you go. So I got it strung up full of cables so we can actually get this place powered up. Let me go ahead and hide all the wires again. And we got a fridge. We got a preserving bin. We got our S Plus converter. We got the S Plus crafting station. We got our normal smithy. We got all the stuff. We got our fabricator set up. I decided to set up the grill caddy corner here just because, I don't know. It kind of felt weird having it like straight on one wall like this or this wall like this. So we caddy cornered the grill, and still I think that looks good. And then because of that, I decided to caddy corner our table full of mortar and pestles as well. And you know what? I'm kind of happy with how it turned out. It looks really good, you guys. I am so stoked. The only thing I'm not like super happy about is the roof. So excuse me. I think we might be able to combat that at some point if I switch it to like stone or wood, because then I'll have a lot more options with like triangle slope things. So that could very well be an update at some point in time, but for now, it's looking really good, you guys. I'm really stoked. And you know, obviously at some point I couldn't figure out where to put a bedroom with the main building done. So at some point we'll probably build a cabin out here for like our bed and some personal storage items and stuff. Same with the greenhouse, same with the taming pen. We got to stuff all of that shenanigans over here somewhere. So we've got a few builds coming up. But for now, we at least are off and running here and kind of on our feet now, so that we can actually go after trying to defeat this Broodmother, which is great. So we finally got all the like major aesthetic parts done. We've got all of our grinding done. We got a functional base. We're like full-grown adults now, guys. The world is our oyster. So the only thing really I want to do now in this episode is, I know it's been kind of a weird short one, but for me, I've been kind of fumbling around and messing around with this base for quite a while. I mean, you saw how many iterations I went through trying to figure out how I wanted to do this thing. We had, you know, the 2 pads at one point, then we had a big square at one point, and now we have this weird kind of elongated barn with a roundish curve at the very end, and I really like it so much. I think the layers and the textures it's so good. It's so good, you guys. But yeah, so I think that's probably pretty close for this episode. The only thing I want to do now is I need to go up here and make some sort of protection just right here on this plateau, so that nothing, you know, takes a running jump and dives into our base and slaughters our guys, because that would really, really suck. So I think what we're just going to do for now is maybe just spiked wall off, you know, a section of it here. That's a lot of spiked walls. I don't want to put them all just straight up on the edge right here, because that would be kind of aesthetically meh. So I think what instead we will do is we will run them across likewise this way. So you see if I have them. I think I grabbed. Oh yeah, there we go. 3. Boom. All right. Let's go ahead and start running these over, and let's see if I have enough to make it. If not, I did make a few extra down there. We'll just have to ferry, you know, go back down and grab them, come back up, place them. But I think, I'm hoping, this is going to be more than enough for our situation here. Listen, Dodicarus man to my right. You may not want to be here, okay? You might end up stuck on this side of the cliff wall at this point if you're not careful. Do one of these? Okay, let's change it up. There we go, like that. I don't like when they're floating. It drives me nuts, so I have to reset sometimes. And perfect. Okay, so realistically, nothing should get over our newfound wall and jump into our base. Well, including us, because we need to get to Lucille over there. Okay, Okay, there we go. We might, if I can do that, we might actually consider putting a couple over here just because, aloes are a real thing. Rexes are a real thing. I've seen both over here so far, and we don't want to deal with either of them right now. So, maybe we'll just do, you know, our due diligence and spike all that off. Okay. We should be safe. What is the prognosis on our new spiked wall? Looks a little finicky, but it's going to do its job for now until we can build a more permanent wall structure. Actually, right now, I don't see any Rexes or Aloes, which is amazing news. I do know they spawn over here, though. I'm not fooled. I know it could happen. So I think, though, we should be 100% safe and ready to go. This whole thing is blocked off, which means nothing should be jumping in on this side. And then I believe from every wall on every other side, nothing should be really getting to us unless it had a whole very lot of momentum before jumping. So I really think we should be good here. Yeah, look at this. Oh, the kangaroo. Is that a kangaroo? It is, right? Yeah. There's so many just kangaroos in here just drowning, and there's nothing I can do to help them. It's terrible. God, there's just going to be so many things like that just find their way in here, and we're just going to have to, like, accept them being down in this place. One other thing is I've seen otters that were in here. While I was building, I saw a couple otters on this side swimming around, so I don't see them as of right now. But that means that they'll at least spawn in here, which means we'll be able to get some otters pretty soon as well. But yeah, so I think that probably is going to do it for me today. Like I said, it's going to be somewhat of a quick episode for you guys, and I'm sorry about that. Maybe not, I don't know. I'll have to take a look and see what I can do when editing. But I have been messing around with this build for a while now, and I am so stoked about it. You have no idea, you guys. I am absolutely thrilled with how this is coming out, and I really do think once we start getting some other builds in and around the area, like, I really think I want to put a cabin, like, over here on the edge somewhere. Nothing big, right? Just enough for a bed, and then, like, a greenhouse, and then, like, a taming pen somewhere. We are really going to fill out this island. It's going to look really, really good. I think that is it, right? Oh, yeah, so, for the time being, because we don't have a cabin, we're going to have to be sleeping outside, because I don't know, it just felt like a good place to use some stuff. And then I put our trough on the other side because this is, you know, more than in range for everybody to eat off of, right? Okay, yeah, there we go. There we go. Now we've officially got you guys all updated, so there it is. I'll see you guys in the next episode. If you liked the video, please make sure to leave a like. Please make sure to leave a like down below. It really does help me. Yeah, wow, I'm just, talking's getting hard. It really does help me out, you guys. Like, honestly, it helps the channel out so much if you leave a like. But also comment down below. Did you think I did okay with this base structure? And honestly, I need two things from you guys. One, we need a name for that Doedicurus. I have no idea what to call it. And two, how do I go about fixing the roof? I have no real idea how to fix the roof, but I think I did everything else fine. The foundation looks good. The walls look good. It's all textured up and there's layers, but the roof could maybe use a little bit of a patch job. You know what I mean? So comment down below how you think I could fix that. What would be the best way to go about doing that? And I'll see you guys in the next episode. I'm out. Peace.